handout, I will remind you quickly that we originally had planned for our test to land today, but I had switched up a couple of our lessons here. So instead of having the test today, the test will be on Thursday, and flip-flopping that with what I was going to do Thursday, which was this circuit you just picked up. So this circuit actually doesn't have any calculus on it at all. These are the calculator skills that show up in calculus. So, in a perfect world, you would know how to use your calculator to do all of these, but realistically, there's probably 3, 4, 5 calculator things that you need to be able to do that you don't know how to do. So, obviously, we don't have multiple days where we can practice this, but I do think it's worth our time so that as it comes up throughout the year, you can do what you need to do. So, we're going to worry about this first.
I left this in my next class.
Okay, thanks. We're going to focus on this first. Notice all of the answers are rounded to 3 decimal places, so that's just like you should be doing in class, always round to 3 decimal places. And when you're using your calculator, we need to make sure that we're using skills and techniques and such that will be accurate to 3 decimal places. So not just kind of close, but it needs to be accurate enough that it matches up exactly with what's on this page. So again, a lot of these, some of these are like equations to solve, and you might even be able to solve some of them by hand. Like I think number 7, I almost did number 7 by hand just out of habit. But that's not the point of this. That's great if you can do it by hand, but the point is, can you use a calculator to help you solve these? So, how long this is going to take just depends on how good you are with your calculator. But again, this is the first thing we need to check off. This one needs to be completed, understood, and hopefully you pick up a few tips. If you finish early, which I think you should, I don't think this should take you anywhere near 90 minutes. In fact, the first 5 questions I worked yesterday in 2 minutes, so then they get a little slower. But with the extra time here, instead of giving you something separate for our second half of class, I'm giving you some extra class time to work through your test review, maybe use some of those bit.ly links. Yeah.
Hi, sir. Sorry to bother you.
You're fine.
Do you need to go see insurance people?
No, I'll have to do it later.
You don't need to do that today?
Yeah, I should be able to do it 7th period today.
Okay.
Okay, thank you though. So, as you guys knock this out, unless you just feel like you're ready to sit down and take the test this minute, this is a unique opportunity where I can give you a little more study time. So, please take advantage of that. Now, since this is the last time that I will see you until your test, there is 4 recent assignments I need to pick up and give you grades for. This is one of them. I'm not going to take the others up today. I don't like to take those from you the day before the test, because if I don't grade them and get them back to you, then you don't have them to study with, and you never know what you might need to study. But I did open those up in Google Classroom during advisory today, so as always, if you want to turn them in early, that's great. Otherwise, make sure you bring your binder with you on Thursday, and then you can it'll be on the board, so you can just turn in what I need. But there'll be 4 assignments because I haven't taken any grades up in a while. Additionally, since our test is next class, remind you about our late work, incomplete work policy. So if there was any assignments that you didn't turn in and it's currently a 0, you can still get half of those points back. If you turned in an assignment that was incomplete and you got half credit on, you can get half of those points back. But you have to fully have it completed, and you have to have it turned in before we start the quiz on Thursday. So if that applies to you, you should add that to your homework list. Okay, so again, I don't know, I think everybody probably has different calculator strengths and weaknesses, but if you need to borrow a calculator from me today, it looks like I'm out of them up here, but I do have some extras. So does anybody still need to borrow a calculator? 2? Okay, give me just a second and I'll get you one. Now, as usual, I think it's a good idea as something comes up that you didn't think about, to jot it down on the top of your page so that you can quickly look it back up in the future. And obviously I have a few things I think you're likely to not know. But instead of just telling you what those are, I will let you see and discover if you can figure it out without me telling you. I'm trying to get some batteries for this. Whatever you think will work.
Okay.
I could probably do that 3 or 4 different ways.
Okay.
So whatever you think's easier, but
Work that way.
just when you're done, make sure you hand it to me. Well, that's not needed, so. Also, you need to show me something.
I
mean, there are 2 solutions. You should at least write down the 2 solutions. I need something on your paper. Okay.
I just don't know how to do it.
So 4. Is that, well, it's weird that that other instrument is so wrong.
Yeah.
I think this is the last one. Okay, so here's the thing, if you're gonna use equation solver, you need to know this, because this is the answer last time you did something. So it doesn't matter what you change here, it's gonna say that until you do alpha, enter, solve, and it's gonna update that when you do that. It's gonna give you the answer that was closest to what you did.
How do you do the equations on here?
You did math.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Math button.
Oh.
And go all the way down the bottom.
Thank you.
more papers than that.
You don't want to get scammed?
Yeah, I feel like, not that.
Not only do I verbalize every time something's due, I also have it typed on the board for you to look at when you come in.
I mean, absolutely sure. You wouldn't be 100%.
Well, I can change my mind and ask for this today, because you should finish it, but I don't plan on it.
Okay, awesome.
So unless you just aren't doing what you need to do.
Working on it.
A lot of you guys are using the equation solver, and I don't mind if you use the equation solver, but it does have its limitations. You might also want to be trying to solve some with graphing. And if you may have overheard me a second ago, a lot of these questions can be worked multiple ways. You don't have to know how to work every one of these questions 5 different ways. As long as you know one way that works for you that you think is easy, as long as that works, then I'm fine with it. But. Okay, can I help out with any of like the first 4 questions?
You do one.
Question 1?
Yeah.
Sure. Now, technically with question 1, I don't think most of you guys know this, but your calculator does have a cube root. But remember, like we do like when we're working by hand, a square root is like an exponent of a half, so a cube root's like an exponent of a third. So I would just type it in that way. 76.5 raised to the 1/3 is the same thing as cube root. Or, just so you guys know, again, even if you can do some of these, I'm still hoping you pick up some tips. Because when you get to question 7, you might work it one way and it may work fine, and I have no issues with that, but there might be a lot more efficient way. So I'm still going to try to give you guys some tips. So for question 1, you could have also hit math, and the 4th option down lets you take cube roots right there. So
Wait, how did you do them or something?
math, option 4 is cube root.
Oh, I see.
And it also has this thing called x root. So like if you wanted the, let's say the 5th root of 32 or something, you could do 5 math and then this x root. You have to hit the 5 in first, so then it knows what it is, and then so your calculator can do others, but truthfully I think just raising it to the 1/3 is probably quicker. So your choice. Was there anything else about number 1 I can help with? Okay, what about 2, 3, or 4? Anybody know you need help with any of those yet? Okay, 5 or 6? Johnny?
6.
Is your 6?
That looks good to me.
That's a yes, this is your 6?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so we got to understand what this is asking us to do. So plug 3.2 into that, into G. This is G of 3.2. So let me do that also. Tangent of 3.2 squared. Okay. And then that should get plugged into the outside function f. So whatever you get from plugging 3.2 in for g, you then need to plug that into the natural log of that plus 4. But that's not correct. What did I not do?
We're in degrees, not radians.
Very good. So I've mentioned this a few times, but everything we do in calculus is radians. So you can do question 1 just fine in degree mode because there's no trig functions. You can do question 2 just fine in degree mode because it doesn't throw any trig functions at you. But the second you do a trig function in degrees, there's nothing obviously wrong with these numbers, but they're not what you intend for them to be. You can put your calculator in radian mode and leave it in radian mode. So that is G of 3.2, and then that gets plugged into F. Now, as I'm doing this, do you know what A and S is?
Answer. The previous answer.
Johnny, you're good with the rest of this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Number 9.
Sure. Okay, let's look at number 9, and then I will pause questions for a few minutes and let everybody catch back up. Is this your number 9?
Oh wait, actually mine is that.
Oh, yours is not this one? Okay.
It was only 0.456.
0456. Okay, that is my number 10. So let's go ahead and change it to 10. You can look for your mistake later. But if you've already tried this one, then we can go over it. Okay, so question 10 has been one. You guys are my third class to see this, and you're the third class to ask about this one. So number 10 has a piecewise function, which we looked at hundreds of these the first couple weeks of school and then not so much since. But I want you to find two things. H of 0.9, so you got to think about which one of these two to plug it into. 0.9 is less than 1, so this one needs to go in here. And then the other question they want you to do is H of 1.1. 1.1 is slightly bigger than 1, so this one is going to get plugged into there. So one answer comes from plugging in 0.9 into x secant x. 0.9 times the secant of 0.9. So, of course, our calculators only have sine, cosine, and tangent, because if you're working with secant and cosecant and cotangent, you're supposed to know these relationships. So how do I use sine, cosine, tangent to get secant?
You do 1 over cosine.
1 over cosine is how you get secant values. So our first answer says 0.9 times the secant of 0.9, and I'm in radian mode. 1.448. 448. And then plug in 1.1 into x inverse tangent of x. Bless you. X. And then to get this inverse tangent, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but your calculator is color coordinated. If you need any of the green stuff, you have to hit the green button first. If you want any of the blue stuff, like inverse tangent, you have to hit the blue button first. So that should be 1.1 times inverse tangent of 1.1. So that answer is about 0.916. And this question says find the larger of the two values. So that's the one that should be question 11. But you might need to retry your question 8 to get that fixed. So again, it's very subtle, but just little things like, do you know how to find the secant value in your calculator? Do you know how to get inverse tangent instead of regular tangent? Just little things like that. Okay, I know some of you are doing great at this, and that is wonderful, but I don't want to leave behind the people that think this is more difficult. So let me give everybody 5 to 10 minutes-ish to try to all kind of catch up. So if you get hard stuck on a question, just work this random question in the meantime till I come back and ask for help or offer help. Okay, just about 2 more minutes and I'll take another round of questions. Huh?
Oh, a little bit. Plug it in to
I think this is.
yeah, and just make sure all the like. Yeah, I did
No, this, you didn't say x minus 4, you said x negative 1. So it was doing negative 4 times
Okay,
x.
then we do
This was doing
minus.
negative 4. Since the minus and the negative sign look so similar, it's hard to tell this one. How would I do it? I would grab this as a line, grab this as a line, and then find the intercept. You can also try equation solver. It's just that the problem with equation solver is that it's only gonna give you one solution at a time.
It's just fine.
Which is really a big
Why not?
graphing problem.
I'm like, I went for the zero, second choice. Somebody put me down. Your second.
What's the question you want?
Or zero.
What question do I think you're on?
Okay, thank you.
16. Oh. Well, getting there. Well, I knew you were further along than normal, so. You wouldn't be asking. You need to do this, yes. What's up? Right like that.
All right, it's been about 7 minutes since I took the last round of questions, so let's try to stick to the first half here. So questions that you got stuck on in the first 10.
Did you do that?
Number 8, okay. Is this your 8? That's
I guess, yeah, now it is. But could you do the one where the answer was 2.890?
this one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the last question,
Okay. Really?
but that's fine. We can talk about it. I think this one's probably the hardest part of this last question, number 20. You can go ahead and steal my number off of it. It's not really using the calculator, but just trying to think through what they're talking about. So, remote control plane climbs, and this is a slope. How far off the ground, so I'm going to call that Y, is it when the plane has traveled 24 feet in the horizontal direction? So what I did for this question is I thought about, well, slope is just rise over run. So I'm calling that Y over 24, rise over run. Also, slope is rise over run. So if you want the slope to be this and you want it to be rise over run, then there's your equation to solve. Just multiply both sides by 24 and you should have your answer. So, easier equation to solve, but you had to put some thought into getting this set up. Okay, try again. Other questions y'all found?
You do number 7.
Yeah, just like, I forgot, I need to update this real quick. number 7, you said? Okay, is this your 7? Okay, so just based on the little bit that I was looking over your guys' shoulder as I came around, just to give you some perspective here, a lot of you are trying to do this in equation solver, and I'm not telling you that you can't do it in equation solver. The problem with equation solver is you have to really know how to use it to get more than one solution. It only gives you one answer at a time. So I personally would not use equation solver for this. What I would do for this question and several of the other ones that are hard to get the answer to is I would graph this as a line and graph this as a line. So make sure you put in all of your parentheses that need to be where they go, or you can type it in as a fraction like I'm doing if you do alpha y equals enter, and then you don't have to worry about those parentheses. Now you do need to make sure you type it in correctly. If you put a different number there, then that means something different. But if one side of my equation is y1 and the other side of my equation is y2, what part of the graph should we be looking at for our answers?
Whatever's on the red line.
So the intersect. When they're at the same place at the same time, that's when they're equal. So here's one answer. Now, some of you guys are going to hit the trace button and you're going to move your cursor close to it. That's not good enough. That might be good enough occasionally on a multiple choice question, but for us, we have to get within 3 decimals accurate. So if you hit second trace, it's got lots of options here. Personally, when I did this circuit yesterday, I used calculate 0, min, max, and intersect doing this circuit. So again, I'm not saying you have to use these, but I think they're probably pretty efficient. This specific question, I want to know where the intersect is. So if you hit that, it's going to do the rest of the work for you. You just need to know what it's asking for. So first curve wants you to put the cursor on the first thing you want to intersect of, in case you have multiple lines on your graph. And I would recommend, see there's 2 here. My calculator has no idea which one of these 2 I want first. So it's going to go, you should put your cursor a little bit to the left you want to find. So if I'm trying to find this one, just make sure your cursor's to the left of it and not to the left of the other one. Hit enter. It's going to ask for the second curve, so you can see it moved it to the other line. But once again, just make sure it's a little bit to the left of the actual intersect. Hit enter to select that, and then hit enter to skip guess. And then basically what your calculator does is it bounces back and forth until they're at the same place at the same time. So one answer right there is 4.277. 4.277. And then the other one's over here. So basically the same steps. Second trace and intersect. Before you tell it where the first curve is, you need to move the cursor to the left of it, because otherwise it's going to find this one again. Okay, hit enter, then it's going to ask where the second curve is. It's going to move it automatically to the second curve, but again, I would make sure it's a little bit to the left of what you're trying to find. It just makes it easier. Hit enter to skip guess. And then same thing, it bounces back and forth between those x values, takes it a second, and I messed it up. I didn't get it close enough, so I got to try again. Trace and intersect. There's a curve, skip guess. Okay, it got it that time. I was a little bit off. So the other answer is about negative 1.777. 1.777. Find the positive solution. Oh, I guess if I'd read the question, I could have stopped. There's two answers to this because there's two intercepts. So this is a perfect example of a question you could do by hand. You should be able to do by hand. You could multiply everything by x plus 2 and x minus 5 to get rid of the fractions. You can distribute and combine like terms, get it down to a quadratic. And then of course you could always solve a quadratic with quadratic formula. But that's not the point of this assignment. The point of this assignment is if we just needed a 3 decimal answer and we had access to a calculator, could we get our calculator to do it? Okay, so this has been a popular question too. You guys are the third class to ask about this one. So is there anything else about 7 I can help with before we move on? Johnny, you got 7 right?
Did actually.
Okay,
Good.
all right. All right, what next? I guess I should also add that you guys might not have thought of this, but if you are still taking the ACT, if you're still trying to raise your math ACT score, being good with your calculator, knowing all the stuff that your calculator can do for you, and being quick with your calculator should help you out a lot on the ACT. Because either A, you're learning some new skills that your calculator could do for you that maybe you couldn't do otherwise, or even if you're just learning more efficient or quicker ways to use your calculator, of course that buys you time on some ACT questions and gives you more time on the harder questions. So I know a lot of times with the calculator stuff, you guys are all kind of got different issues. So I'll come back and help out on the board again in a bit, but I'll also walk around the room a few times. So if you have something specific you want me to look at, your calculator or whatever, I will help you. Just call me over as I come around. I'm going to take it next class. So if you're done already, you can use the rest of the class to study for your test if you need to. So I know if you did alpha window, I would use the derivative feature a lot. I know that absolute values did on just. You can also do second derivative in the catalog. Remember that everything's in the catalog? Yeah, and it's alphabetical, so absolute values are assigned here too. So that's fine. And it'll say left balance. Okay, so you gotta give us some information. The thing is, you could have multiple variables, right? So it's asking, which one are you looking for? So left bound means you need to move the cursor till you're sure it's to the left of the 0 you're trying to find. No. And you just need to move the cursor. Oh wait, now you gotta, okay, you gotta do calculate 0 again. So calculate 0. Okay, now just move the cursor. Try to find it. It's actually way over here, so go to the right a little bit. Okay, that's fine. So hit enter. That's to the left. It's going to now change to the right bound. Now you need to move it to the right. So what you're really doing is you're just giving it a little window to let it hit enter. And then hit enter, just get guess. And it's basically just going to look between those x values until it gets to a y value of 0. And then it'll find it exactly. Or to 8 or 9 decimals, et cetera. So. You have birthday coming up, don't you?
Yeah. always
birthday.
wanted a calculus test.
You're welcome.
Wait, did you?
Okay, so that's fine, but you're gonna need to graph the absolute values too, because that's gonna change some of it. So go up here, sort this out. Alright, do you know where absolute value is in your calculator? Okay, so you know how we do alpha window, we do the derivative thing sometimes? Well, I know absolute value is there because I see it all the time, so that's one place. You can also, if you do the catalog, everything's in the catalog, and absolute value is nice because it's alphabetical, it's the first one. So go ahead and type that in, the absolute value. Okay, so, okay, that's fine. Okay, graph. So those two are gonna be equal when they're at the same place at the same time. So we're looking for intersections.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so here's your two answers. We just need to find them exactly.
I just call you
Okay.
in like questions.
That's what I would do. Okay, so if you're gonna try to find this one first, yep, just make sure the cursor is to the left before you hit enter. Okay, move it on the second curve, do the same thing. It doesn't have to be super close. As long as it's closer to this than it is to this one, so it knows what you're looking for. Okay, enter the skip guess, and then here's one answer, so go ahead and jot that down. Okay, now try to do the same thing over here. Now it's a little bit harder because it's harder to see on the screen, but. Mhm. Yep, that's fine. It's just off the screen. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, there you go. There's your other one, and that one wants the sum, so you need to add those two up before you move on.
Okay, so, the one number 15,
Mhm. I would, yeah.
and graph it, and then
Okay, I'll
after
do
you
it.
do that, and then trace, and then the background,
Sounds good.
and do
I know what you're saying, but go ahead. Okay, sounds good.
and then it's,
Sure.
always,
Why not? What do you think the answer is?
I don't understand, but I didn't know.
I know, but point out what you think the answer is.
I
No, tell me a number.
I didn't,
Tell me a number you think it is.
that I think the answer is,
Yeah.
like, 205.
Okay, that's where there's a max. It didn't ask you where there's a max.
It asks what the maximum value is,
Right.
so.
X is when, Y is how much.
Oh, so 0 point.
Yeah, so it's just the Y value that you needed. Okay, can I come over and help anybody?
Question, how
It's
does
a fancy pencil.
Thank you. I don't know how to pass the value. I don't even know how to, like, how you would put an equation like this.
I wouldn't. I would graph this as a line, graph this as a line, and then the solution would be the intersect. So I just want to intersect. Okay, so go to Y equals. Okay, so there's a couple different places you can find absolute value. If you hit alpha window, you know how we use the derivative feature sometimes? Okay, well, I always see absolute value at the top, so that's where I know it is. You can also do second 0 to get catalog, because the catalog has everything, and since it's an alphabetical order, absolute value is easy to get out there too. So, yeah, graph this, and then try to find the intersect.
Okay, got it.
That's the easiest way to get the calculator to do it. Okay, anybody else I can come by and help yet? Anybody in here doing the PSAT tomorrow? Oh, wow. Good luck.
I know. There's no way. What am I doing? Wait, what? The pizza? It's the really, really smart people.
Oh, the Mr. Townsend.
See,
Cause you also.
I'm just like, oh well, that one looks like it'll work.
I couldn't remember how to.
I don't really.
How far the point to go line.
I don't
I know
question
you're supposed to go there.
I have that confidence.
Yeah, so you need to tell her you're trying to find the intersect first.
I mean, it's not trace.
Second trace pulls up the calculation. So you're trying to find 0 and then the max or intersect. Find the one intersect. Okay, now when it's asking for first curve, just make sure it's a little bit to the left of the intersect you're trying to find. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure it's closer to this one than this one, because otherwise it doesn't know what intersect you're trying to find.
There's no way. No, I got it. I can feel the vibes.
And then it's gonna ask you about the second curve, same thing, just be a little bit to the left of it. Enter. And then skip this. Intersection is right there, so there's one in. And then you basically need to repeat those steps over here to find that intersect.
Okay.
And then they want you to add them together to know where to move on.
You would do alpha, or you do second trace, and then you're looking for
Yeah,
so right now, 2.4.
Do you have the FRC practice?
We know students are taking time for
You know, a long time ago.
Should be taking care of that. Yeah, maybe we're good. Yeah.
FRC 4.
Jessica's been actually studying.
5.
No, she's been in June. So who?
Only
Jessica?
for you.
So she's sitting back and I was like, that's not
And I know that I'm
and she was just telling me how nervous she was. No, I'm prepared. And I was like, oh yeah, me too.
I'm sorry. Well, when you plug that into what you had now, it would, but I don't know what it actually is. I just oh, it is. Yeah. Wait, is that what he said? Wait, how do you do that?
Do this one, do it in 2 lines, and then go find the intersection.
For what?
Oh, that says to advance the circuit closest.
You will turn it in next class. Or Google Classroom if you want to turn it in.
I mean, right now, I have like a.
I'm thinking, I've never done this before.
I'm gonna take it up next time, unless you want to turn it in Google Classroom.
I didn't even know this was a thing I wanted to do in June.
Yeah, right.
We need to really hold on to the fact that we're so So the percentage is like
Statistically, right?
but like you also like the people taking it. Wow. Or the truth. I don't care.
so far.
I know, that's so okay.
No, dude, no, I gotta be in. Second place in the
Wow, I'm not that's why my brother keeps saying I'm not missing.
I wish that my dad like packed my lunch and he packed me lunch over. I can't access my lunch.
At least for all the time,
If I always roast my lunch, mine was
shoot, I'll be the 98% person the rest of. We're helping to hide that. I'll take one for the team.
Yeah, we're gonna help Jessica get her. Honestly, yeah. I'll take credit right now. I'll take credit.
Find A, B, or find C, and you pick one, and then it's like, okay, what's A, what's B, here's your C. I mean, there's like thousands.
You know what sounds really good?
You said what?
You know what sounds really good?
And then geometry formulas. People program Okay, so where does 1.9 go?
Yeah, I was a little confused about that.
Check my watch and I thought I said 12. I said 12:20. So we're still not right.
Like, where's this?
I took the time and I was like, 12:50 already. I was like, fuck this.
Wait, how do we know exactly the calculator?
Dude,
I should have known better.
I'm absolutely starving. Starving.
So that means you're.
I'm not buying anything from you. But listen, assuming you're making, you guys do something.
I mean, where's
But I'm getting food, and I'm not buying anything for anybody. I'm going to the world.
1 times inverse to go. Yeah, that was
Never enough.
your other answer. Assuming you're making it. And just want the larger of the two. Try the answer down.
$379. You know how painful it is to look at my in 6th grade. It's awful. Where are you on that? So no, you're not getting a pretzel. He's got snack. Yeah, Scout might be the only one that We should have food.
What do you do? So I went to graphics. So graph. That's going down. I did. That's 13.
Okay. No, I see you did, okay. The wording is.
And then you just like do
Because it
the
says how
counts
fast
and
is it
exact.
moving down the wall?
Answer 3 times.
That's the thing, we already know it's going down. So how fast is it going down? It's going down.
Oh.
So if it says like how fast is it moving, you should say negative, of course, it shows going down. But because of that wording, we already applied it. Yeah, so that's
Can't remember who
kind of unusual.
Okay, you guys still have about 35 minutes, so as you guys are getting finished or close to finished, remember I didn't give you anything else for the second half of class so that you could do extra studying if you
I
needed it.
studied, I got it last night, and then I started using
Well, that's not.
Barnes and Noble.
You're gonna be so
So, did you graph
Yeah.
this yet?
I was like, Mom, I'm scared, and she was like, just go buy a book. It'll make you feel better. And I was like,
You'll see
okay.
that like this is equal to this at an infinite number of places. Like it, they interact.
Don't even
intersect.
play with how I used to
You
like,
want
carry
to-
around my ACT book.
I got
that
that. His
says.
name on him.
Like one of them looks like
One time I was in like,
oh, I think it was something like this. One of them looks like this, one of them looks like this. So it has an infinite number of answers, an infinite number of intersections. But there's only one spot when x equals 2 and x
And did you
equals
guys
4.
do the thing that was like comparison?
Sure.
Like comparing the readings about like, they were giving like, what? Oh, it was really hard, is what I'm, the point I'm getting to, yeah. The one that was like
The
the
order of
two
operations
and it
is
was
gonna
like,
be 20 divided by 3, and that's just get an answer, and then it's gonna add that. So you either put parentheses around your numerator and denominator,
he did that
or
was right.
alpha.
The ACT in me comes out. I know, the math is different though. And the reading's harder. Yeah, but I need to get that out, like half of this is math. This is the reading right.
I'm just gonna tell her that.
Don't play with the book, guys. I have the AP quiz and the AP
I'll be there.
color too.
I was about to ask off, I can come in tomorrow.
I've been in my place
Where do you work?
Wait, didn't we do that like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, so it's like on Saturday.
You,
Or Friday's my last day.
Are you sad?
No, I'm happy.
Do you get free food though?
No.
You don't?
No, we got paid 25% off.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
25%.
Yes.
where do you work?
Works Bakery.
Oh, you work at
So, one side, also graph line times 3. So graph it as another line.
I'm just not sure I'm awake at that.
I mean,
At 8, you're not awake
prefer
at
one
8.
of those.
I'm awake at 8, but it's
Why
like,
do
Yeah, you would never see me already.
Graph it.
okay, I'll try to wake up.
So these two are gonna be
Yeah,
equal.
I agree. That's why I put my
Place at
Wait,
the
you
same
were
time.
talking
This is what I
about
was
not
saying.
buying
I
new
kinda remember
clothes.
what
I
that
was
looked like.
like,
And then this is just a number, so it's gonna be a horizontal line. So you can see there's infinite number of solutions, with all those kinds of intersects.
I'm working at Impressions.
This is something you find the one between.
On Saturdays I'm available.
I want to be yours.
Oh,
You have to be
So you're trying to find
You?
out. So,
I want those too.
yeah, go second
Whenever, it
trace.
depends on where you go,
And
but
then
like for
calculate.
example, whenever I was at Mellow Mushroom, it's weird how they can like legally do this, but like the waitresses, like they got a wage of $2.50 an hour. And because of the amount of money that comes in with tips somehow it like evens out. to them.
Well, it's asking you where the first curve is.
Yeah.
So just keep moving your cursor a little bit more to the right, okay? So that's real close to what you want, I think. So hit enter. So now you have the first curve. It's gonna jump to the other line. Now you need to be to the left of that
I didn't
intersection.
get it for dinner. I was so excited.
You're too far right.
Like during the day.
You're trying to find that and you need to left.
I hate
Hit
that
enter
quizzes are
to let it
closed on
know that
Sunday.
you are
You
not
can close
class.
on Sunday.
And then hit enter to skip you
At
out
least
to
we
make
close on Sunday.
move the cursor.
No,
I'm making my own.
that's the most frustrating thing.
And it's that.
I hate whenever they close in like a couple restaurants.
So, because your calculator doesn't know which one of these intersect points you need, you have to get it real close to it on the left side so that it knows which one you need. But no, right, but you left side.
That's always it's in twice now.
I have a question for you. It's the only
Okay, so you wanna draw a little triangle. This is like what's that? You just like that? Okay. So label this up here.
It is, would this be?
Bro, why does this say we need to know synthetic division?
I don't even need that. This is the
Freshman year.
So you're trying to figure out after 24 feet.
We did that last year, but, oh,
You're looking for that, good. And you know
wait,
the
we
slope.
probably did. Wait, no, you're
So
right.
if you think slope is like rising
But I
up
actually
the
don't.
line. So what's your right?
My memory
How far up are you?
Do we have to do long division? Wait, okay.
So it's x
Did we use this? Or is there?
Yeah,
Oh,
rise
I
up
think so.
around.
Y minus y
What is wrong with it? Do you know if we use this on the PS? Which one are you solving?
Wait,
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. 11. This one. On the back.
This is why.
I did. Wait, the new update's the same instead of back here.
Yeah, I didn't.
The new HTTP update. What is the HTTP update? It's like you can choose to not be science and it's gonna be shorter. Let me like, no! Okay, me too, but like, anything I would wanna do. It's okay, it's not like I'm trying to go to an Ivy League or anything.
Are you being sarcastic or not?
No, I really don't want to.
Oh, okay. Well, some people do.
I know. But that's like, so I'm never gonna take the writing part and things.
Are you a good writer?
I mean, yes.
Then you should do it, because you.
Why?
Why would you not want to do one of your strengths?
What would it benefit?
I don't know. Schools will look at it and they'll say she wasn't too lazy to do the writing part.
Oh, or they'll look at it if you got a bad score.
But she says she's a good writer.
Well, but you'll be
After
tired.
5 hours in a
Yeah,
locked in
yeah,
a room,
I
is she
don't
gonna be a good
know.
writer?
5 hours of what?
Being locked in that
I
room?
just want to go to an SEC school.
I'm locked in this
Like, I don't
room
think
all
I
day,
can
every
do-
day.
Gonna do something in science and math. I don't know. I don't know.
I know what you mean, though.
Have to
There's a
decide.
stamina.
Yeah, I get to the last like multiple choice test and I'm just
Like, Johnny has no stamina when it comes to academics.
Who? Me?
Yes, you.
I actually made it through back in the day, you know?
And so I took medicine and then I didn't
That's hilarious.
I was really dying, like, I just wanted to make sure 5 though.
Right.
Wait, good. But it was like, I don't know how. I've taken it twice, that doesn't count. Is it your highest? No.
Well, also, y'all have done AP tests before, right? I mean, that's like a 3-hour test.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's
awful.
like one subject.
Wait, sorry. I said yeah.
25. 25.
Oh,
It goes to 32, right? Wait, 36, 36, I'm not.
It goes to 32.
Wait, what goes to 32?
It's, that's what you need to get the fellowship at, Arkansas.
Oh, yeah? Or just to qualify, just to
Really? A
qualify.
32?
Thanks to qualify.
Wait, what does that mean?
32?
Yeah.
On the ACT?
So like what's the salary?
Oh, you get a 4 run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a I think it's also you have to have like at least a 3.75 or 3.8.
Yeah, and then you have to go through an interview process. It's
Yeah.
really competitive.
Yeah.
And you have to write an essay.
It's you.
There's so many
That's why
It's not guaranteed, they only give out like.
Yeah.
They don't give out 90.
Oh.
But there's some
If you were smart enough to get national merit, you'd be better.
Yeah, looking for your
That's
kids in
That's the price.
I know, I hope he knows.
I got this book last night. He's taking the
Really?
Okay.
I know, I don't lie.
I was like,
This
freaking
book,
out.
I was.
He's all wrong.
Wait, do the Khan Academy,
I was thinking like, oh, you should
digital
get
SAT
that
course?
old score. Really? I can
The
use
Khan
it.
Academy digital SAT course grades by grades.
Did you get an after?
No, I actually didn't study for it.
Oh.
But
Did Sylvia?
I did that. Well, no, she didn't.
She didn't?
No.
And then, then hopefully I'll be fine. She got what? Oh. She got 15. How do you spend that? Wow.
I feel so bad for you.
Level, how are you even around like other people?
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're that smart, why are you?
Harold was at it, and I was like, poor Harold, bro. I call him Harold.
I don't know. I've done so many videos. Yeah.
I'm in advisory, that's all I know.
Yeah. No clue.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's one that's going on here. So, second part is what I was referring to. You know, in history, you want to know why. So you're interested in a point.
That's a lot, right?
You want to point.
Out of the entire grade. If you get
Roja, there goes one. Jessica, there goes one.
Did you say Olivia?
Anthony chokes and talks. I'll say it.
If you get it 1,500, you'll probably get it. 1,500 or
Oh, you know. All of them? No, and he's mean about it. We sat next to him and I we did a quiz and I got them all right. He got 2 wrong. He was like, you got those right, you can cheat off me. I was like, that doesn't.
That doesn't.
I don't know how I got that.
A dare.
It's
He's getting that one. Oh, man. Oh,
It's so zoomed in.
Leonardo. Shoot, guys. Shoot. We're
Who's
screwed.
Leonardo?
Hey, what do you like yourself for? No, he's in our grade. He was in geometry with us. He like skipped wasn't he?
Wait, the only
Was he a 7th grader? I didn't think so.
the 4 smart people that I know,
So you're graphing the
Jessica,
side.
Anthony, Sumed.
The solutions
Rosha.
are gonna be the intercept.
Sylvia? I don't know.
Now, I can
Okay,
see
but, like,
based
in
on-
our grades.
Oh, okay.
Fine, if
Okay,
you wanna be
grades.
zoomed out. That's based on
Grades,
the
bitch.
axis you're zoomed out.
She did really well on her ACT.
What's she in?
Zoom
Okay,
6.
I think she's got
Zoom
it.
6.
Well, her first time she got 28. So
So whatever gets zoomed out or in.
30 something? If you can get like a 32 or above on ACT.
I'm taking it in 10 days from tomorrow.
Oh,
I have a 31 right now.
Hey, you have a good choice. I mean, good choice.
I was having trouble on my
You gotta get
Wait, who else? Oh, wait, literally you two.
Thank you.
No, wait.
Okay, does anybody else need me to come by and help?
Alex, did you see
Alex.
Alex, like you told me, I'm just. Like,
no, it's fine.
struggling over there.
I know, it's hard to
Can I
tell.
see your picture of yourself?
Yeah, so basically plug in 3 to this first
Wait,
one.
I did that and
I got it.
negative 12 squared.
Negative 12y squared.
Well, plus minus 35 y. I got a whole plug right. Can you see mine and look at yours? Have y'all done this one? Garrett. Yeah. Wait, what is this? Can I see? Okay, so here's mine.
You also need to distribute it.
Yeah. This is like modifying the scheme or whatever that word is, like giving us.
Wait,
Oh wait.
did you guys learn this song?
Like, so actually,
It goes to, what is it? Whack-a-mole? Pop goes to Weasel.
My boy, Mr. Smith.
Miss Olsen, she always, she made us get together.
Either way, it's perfectly fine, but the way you did it, you didn't do what you said. If you divide this over, this side's on 0. You would be dividing both sides by 2.5 squared of x minus 3. 2.5 squared of x minus 3. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine too. Or you could just make that be a 1 or whatever. It's all the same. So, you want to know where the next step is? It's like they intersect in 2 places. You want the one closest to 0. So calculate. There you go.
Yeah, I'll subtract.
What is your math?
So it doesn't matter. If you want to divide, I don't know why though. I don't know why you don't graph this as a line and then graph that as a line. Because dividing both sides by that, you open yourself up to making it.
That's not,
It's not wrong, but the way you do
how do you
it.
get from that to 4y equals? It's y squared.
Well, when you do your real age test, it's like part A
Yeah,
half
and then you get
part
y.
B,
Yeah.
part B.
Wait,
Whenever I was learning all those rules in Algebra 1, I was
was there through the sentences and the topic and the pieces?
Yeah, he gives you some time in class to revise it, but I'd be done with it.
Oh my gosh. He did not do it.
Wait, I would take out a Y. I would do take out a Y and do 4 of Y minus 9.
Okay,
Sometimes, I don't know
we're
if
all
yours does,
fitting
but
in our
sometimes if I run a mine up there, they're on the.
How many are there?
Oh my god, I'm not really because I didn't even sign up for it. You got
Service equals.
But I didn't pay. I think that if we get a certain score, they pay for it. Okay, well, I'm certainly gonna.
shoot, then why am I even taking it again if I didn't get a good enough score to like
I think I got the thing to like take the 2 sets and whatever.
I remember really not caring because I didn't know it was important.
Oh yeah.
I was just kidding.
I know. Why would it feel easy, but then I still developed. But then it got to that one cruise.
My advisor is such a disaster. I wish my kids were like stable. They were passing them all. They're like talking.
Who's in your advisory?
Just Ellie.
Or sorry, I fixed it and started
I mean, I got it to equals Y, but then I have another Y.
So there's for Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi.
She means US.
I don't get that.
Jamie, how did you get this?
Yeah, didn't you just?
That's something that
Not good.
But also, why you still have to grab this? Grab this.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess pretty good.
And so you just plug in.
You don't even know. That's all.
Negative.
No, you plug in 4.2 and okay.
That's not, those aren't equivalent. If you want to say all of those over, I'll just go and have zero. Divided by all now or one. I don't know why you scrap it as 2 separate lines.
What? Who's singing or something? Because you have oh my gosh, they're ding.
All of this just
I don't want to snitch on the shoes that like are so gonna
You get so worked up about all that, you forget what you're trying to do.
I know, in class. But I don't want to be a snitch like that. But also, he's scared. I want you to think that was class because it's a line.
You don't need 4 times.
I think she had a question.
I still don't know how to like solve for mine.
I don't know, tell me read me what you have, so I can put it on the board.
What I have. Okay, I have 9 plus.
I just need to remember every math thing I've ever learned.
Oh, no, not all that. Just what's the thing you can't solve at the end?
Oh, Y and then difference.
I'm awful.
So I think it's like 4Y.
I never know
minus
the
9.
numbers.
And then it's -2. What it tells you.
It's like when I have marbles and it's like,
Or it's like
can
draw
pick
the
two.
I cannot do probability. I never learned probability.
I don't, me either.
So I know if you distribute this,
Whenever
it's
we
quadratic.
can't say
Quadratic, you want
Oh.
everything on one side.
Wait, I actually didn't do that.
Most of the time, it should factor, but doesn't mean it will.
Or 7th grade, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, it does.
Maybe it was like in
It does factor?
Yeah.
I mean, it usually does, but there's no. So 1/4 or 2.
Thank you.
For B, like I found the things.
Okay.
But like I haven't
What is the back like?
Why do that define?
Well, like I put it in, I put the numbers in the back. Or 0 over a number.
Okay, well, if it's 0 over a number, that should be 0. If it's a number over 0, that would be.
But is that right?
Well,
your answer is the equation of potential. So that's the y minus y1, so you're doing all that stuff. So it could be, I think what happens is you plug 1 and 2 in, how do I get this out? You should show that you tried the other one and it didn't work. So look, when you're done, check the scoring guides, you'll see there's probably like 3 or 4 points, there's probably 1 or 2 showing that when you plug in this one, you got the same thing, when you plug in this one, you get blah, blah, blah. So,
Whoever sent it to me, I don't even know.
okay, so this is saying when x is 2.1, y is 1.212.
Right.
So I just plugged in 2.1 everywhere there was an x. I plugged in 1.212 where there's a y. And then that gives you an equation with a ton of numbers and a k. But you can just solve for k at that point.
Okay, and that'll be the usage of the, just you put one plugged in, and then just that.
Yeah, it's saying when you plug this in for y, you get this for x, you get this for y. So plug that in everywhere there's an x, plug that in where there's a y, and then your only variable is k. So that'll give you an equation to solve.
Wait, but actually, yeah. Are you answering? Hey, wait, so you get two, when he asks which one do you answer?
I don't know. There's this one girl.
I didn't want to do that. That was
I don't want to do
actually-
figure. I mean, one
I'm
of
sure it was.
I answered three questions.
What were your answers?
Two looks right. Yes.
So there's that.
I really want to be, if I was an answer, I really want to be like.
Wait, you want to like the one, the smart one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I thought
this question.
I was for the first semester, and him and this guy argue about who got a higher 100.
You know that him and Mr. Morgan are fighting together?
No. Yeah, they like throw people. Yeah, they're a lot.
Oh, what's the?
No, it's not.
Tonight this one.
I plugged in the numbers.
What the heck?
Yeah, we have to leave it.
Oh, this question we got.
So you started off dating.
You want to still There's nothing else I was doing. I just looked forward to it. That would have gone.
I know you guys like to complain about it being cold in here, and there is a work order to fix the heater now, so with any luck, it might be fixed in a couple weeks.
It's okay. It'll be before winter.
Well, you're gonna have to start wearing a jacket anyway, so I think it gets down in the 30s on Wednesday.
Oh, it wasn't.
This is BYD. So there's a different sector. So this is all.
It's set up like a stadium, like
Everywhere there's an extra button, everywhere the water heats to it.
Yeah, for real.
well, this is the one.
I was reading that, they were like,
Tomorrow. I got a friend who works there. She really likes it. She was at Longwood. I understand like that's like I'm saying retail's the way to go. Like it's comfortable. So once you get into like there's restaurants and there was this one lady. She would never let us watch the park because she was pregnant. So she wouldn't help me.
Oh wait.
Cigarettes on the porch for like 3 But yeah, I wouldn't get home till like 2 a.m. on Sunday.
Where did you work?
Middle Marshall.
There's no way that's helping.
You didn't have to seem a little surprised.
No, I'm not surprised, but I mean, you are just sitting there with it. So.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
what's your favorite color to wear?
My favorite color
To wear?
to wear?
Yes.
Well, I have a theory that gray clothes are the comfiest, so I'd say gray.
Okay. Gray? That's a good choice.
I mean, not the school necessarily, but at home.
It's like your day-to-day fit, just
Yeah.
gray. Like your outfit?
No, I mean like laying around the house. Gray sweatpants,
Gray t-shirt.
gray t-shirts. Gray is just always more comfortable.
Do you wear gray socks?
Sometimes. That's a very odd question, but
Yeah, exactly.
You could,
all right, we've got about 10 minutes, so make sure that you guys have some kind of reminder set up about your test on Thursday. As always, make sure you bring your binder to turn in your work if you don't turn it in the Google Classroom early.
Yeah, I get 25%. Why is it worth 25%? Yeah, so probably get that.
Is this the puzzle you guys are on now? Have y'all done this one yet? No? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I think it is.
no, I have to. Yeah, but like, at the same time, like, it's as good as it's gonna get. Like, as an unskilled worker.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean, working at work is good because it shows I can get up early and like be on time and like
I need to get my manager to write a letter. I've been there for a year.
I'm like such a good worker, like I could, but probably it's wrong.
Hey, I'm just gonna say, over the summer we had like a bunch of people, like a couple people quit and they just hired at once.
It's like you don't want to have a place there.
Nope.
And there's a place to put jobs. And you have a blank.
48 hours a week.
I think y'all are the last class to see this, and it usually takes about 8 or 9 guesses before somebody gets it.
I started thinking about
Nope.
42. Wait.
Nope.
A couple of weeks back, they had like small mozzarella sticks for 39 cents.
It's not 51. No matter how many times you guessed it, it's not 51.
Oh, there's a huge line.
One.
It would be good to go
Spend money every time I get my paycheck. It's like eating out every day for a week, and then it's like
Is each square one box?
water soup.
Wait, ready?
It's not 51.
Is each square one box?
Yeah, it's not true. It's not like
Is there 21?
no,
No.
no. There's no like boxes within a box that you couldn't know about.
It's not 51?
It's not 51 still.
I'm going 51.
Second trick. What about the other side? Is the other side the same?
35.
I don't know if the other side's the same or not, but it's not 35.
No, I was feeling close there.
Nope, not 41.
Either way.
Wait, but how does it happen?
could move the boxes in the middle.
But how are we?
Yeah, we can like
It's a trick question.
It's not a trick question.
There's like a box.
This is a legit question. This truck could be driving down the road,
47.
not 47.
What's the first?
52.
What's the 10th digit? That's a good hint.
That's too much of a hint.
We'll have the last one.
Okay, wait. Let me think.
Is it old? Okay, so you.
I feel like it's 51.
Okay, the first digit is a 3.
So I was right with 35. Come on.
Just keep guessing.
30.
31.
36.
No.
39.
Nope.
34.
30.
Nope.
38.
Nope.
31.
It's a trick question.
Nope. It's not a trick question.
Yes, it is.
It's not. No, it's not.
37.
It's higher than.
Oh, you're not supposed to.
Well, look, if you do that.
Is it just like, I think it's just the boxes on the screen.
But I counted that.
How much was it?
I got 47 points.
I even gave you the first number.
Yeah, no.
39.
No.
I feel like we guessed every 30.
I know, same.
34.
Nope.
I know, I got 47 and then.
If you count the big box that is the thing that contains how many boxes are there.
Whoa.
Oh.
No.
That'd be like square.
He's saying this ain't a trick question. I don't believe this.
36.
Is it 35?
Nope. Nope.
It's gonna have like.
I think we've guessed. I feel like we've guessed everything. We've guessed everything.
Try the 300s.
33.
Try the 300s. This is totally.
32.
You guys, he said it started like 30, but give him like every.
We guessed every like 30.
Yeah.
Are there 3 boxes?
Is it 300 inside?
Yeah, that's.
No.
It's like 3.2.
I'm
Yeah, is it a decimal?
I'm embarrassed for you.
What is it?
This is no tricks, no twists.
32.
Are we gonna, is this one of those ones that you're like really gonna
Guessed
How many
everything. I
boxes?
know, we've guessed everything. Someone said 38, right?
Yeah.
Is this one of those like triangle things where it's like the triangles make up more triangles and those triangles count as well? Like does a group of 9 count as one box extra? No?
No.
I don't get this.
Can you reveal it to us?
I'd like to look this up for though.
Is it 30?
Nope.